Apple has long been known for its seamless ecosystem and powerful hardware, but for years, the iPad stood out as a curious in-between. It had cutting-edge chips, gorgeous screens, and some of the best accessories in the tablet market. Yet, it often felt like it wasn't reaching its full potential. Users were essentially carrying a device that had the physical power of a laptop but was caged by software that seemed more fitting for a phone. Now, however, a major shift is on the horizon. With iPadOS 19, the company is finally addressing a long-standing gap. The iPad is no longer just a bigger iPhone, it's evolving into a full-fledged computing powerhouse. This latest iteration of iPadOS represents more than just a visual update. It marks a turning point. Apple is no longer holding the iPad back with mobile-first limitations. For the first time, there's a real sense that this device is being taken seriously as a professional tool. In fact, the software changes in iPadOS 19 are ambitious enough to suggest that Apple sees the iPad as a standalone productivity machine, capable of taking on creative, academic, and even software development workflows. Over the past few years, the iPad has transformed significantly on the hardware side. The journey from basic chips in the S series to the powerhouse M1, M2, M3, and now M4 has brought MacBook-level performance to this sleek slab of glass. You could edit 4K videos, play with complex 3D models, or run intensive simulations, all from the palm of your hand. But none of that mattered if the software couldn't support such capabilities. That's where the iPad has always fallen short until now. The promise of iPadOS 19 lies in bridging that gap. It's Apple finally catching the software up to the hardware. With this update, the iPad experience is no longer tethered to a phone-style operating system. Instead, it feels like the first real step toward giving users the desktop-style power they've wanted. The system has been redesigned in a way that preserves the iPad's unique appeal, its touch-first interface, pencil integration, and portable nature, while still introducing the depth and complexity that professional work demands. Perhaps the most exciting change is the arrival of true desktop-class applications. For too long, the iPad has been saddled with lightweight versions of apps stripped-down tools that couldn't quite replace their Mac counterparts. But that's changing. Apple is opening the doors to full versions of professional software like Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Xcode, AutoCAD, and Adobe's complete suite. These aren't just ports. They're purpose-built, native apps optimized for touch, pencil, and keyboard use. What makes this particularly significant is how the apps adapt to the iPad's strengths. Instead of cramming desktop use into a tablet, Apple has taken the time to rethink the interface. Gesture support is smarter, UI elements are cleaner, and layouts are more intuitive for a touchscreen environment. For creatives, this means a better experience for drawing, editing, and composing. For developers, it means not having to sacrifice power or precision. For business professionals, it means multitasking without friction. And for everyone else, it means not having to switch devices when the work gets serious. Speaking of multitasking, this has traditionally been one of the iPad's weakest links. The limitations of split view and slide over made it frustrating to use more than one app at a time. Moving between windows or adjusting layouts felt like navigating a maze blindfolded. But that's changing dramatically with iPadOS 19. Apple is rolling out a new windowing system that brings the flexibility users have been craving. Now, you can open multiple apps, resize them however you want, and move them around freely. They can even overlap like on a Mac. You're no longer restricted to rigid layouts. Instead, you build your own workspace. Place a browser side by side with a note-taking app, shrink your messaging app into the corner, or stack the documents on top of each other. It's all about giving users control over their environment. For the first time, it feels like the iPad is listening to the way people actually work. Even the home screen is becoming more intelligent. Widgets are more functional, app folders are smarter, and pinned windows offer better organization. It's now possible to create a true dashboard tailored to your workflow. Whether you're a student juggling notes and research, or a video editor managing multiple projects, the iPad can morph into a setup that suits your exact needs. Stage Manager, which initially launched with high hopes but failed to deliver due to its clunky behavior, is getting a fresh start. The new version has been rebuilt from scratch and brings smoother transitions, smarter organization, and improved app snapping. It even uses machine learning to predict and prepare your most used app combinations. So, if you frequently use Safari and Notes together, your iPad will begin grouping them automatically. It's like having a personal assistant that sets the stage for your work before you even start. External monitor support is another huge leap forward. Previously, plugging an iPad into a monitor just mirrored the screen, a disappointing limitation. But iPadOS 19 changes that entirely. Now, users can enjoy true dual-screen functionality. You can run different apps on each screen, drag files between them, and take full advantage of the additional space. For professionals who work at a desk with docking stations, this brings desktop-level flexibility. Designers, editors, developers, anyone who needs more screen real estate will finally feel at home using an iPad in this setup. Possibly the most transformative feature, though, is the new desktop mode. When you attach a keyboard and trackpad, the iPad adapts. The interface evolves to resemble a Mac with a visible dock, taskbars, and right-click context menus. The pointer feels more precise, file management becomes more sophisticated, and multitasking becomes second nature. Yet, unlike a Mac, you still retain full touchscreen and Apple Pencil support. That hybrid functionality means you're never locked into one way of working. You can switch from typing to sketching, or from coding to navigating by touch with no interruption. This hybrid nature is what makes iPadOS 19 feel so revolutionary. You can start your day docked at a desk in full desktop mode, then pick up your iPad and walk to another room, continuing your work seamlessly. There's no need to reboot, no need to shift devices. Everything just works fluidly and intuitively. This kind of flexibility is what users have wanted all along. The role of the iPad within Apple's lineup is also undergoing a redefinition. No longer caught between the convenience of the iPhone and the horsepower of the MacBook, it's carving out its own space. It's emerging as a standalone computing platform. For students, professionals, and creatives who value both power and portability, this could easily become their only device. Imagine writing papers, editing videos, producing music, coding apps, conducting research, designing artwork, and managing communication all from a single device. That's the potential the iPad is unlocking. This new iPad is more than a device, it's a lifestyle tool. For educational institutions, it could streamline classrooms. For businesses, it could simplify mobile workforces. For creators, it could replace entire studios. The flexibility and power it now offers open up countless possibilities. All of this hinges on software stability, of course. Developers need to get on board, battery efficiency has to keep up, and Apple must deliver on its promises. But even a partial success would be a major leap forward. What's clear is that this isn't about turning the iPad into a Mac. It's about forging a new identity. One that doesn't ask users to choose between mobile and desktop, but offers both in a unified experience. It's a new paradigm in personal computing and interface that molds itself around the user, not the other way around. With iPadOS 19 likely launching alongside the M4-powered iPad Pro, the synergy between hardware and software will be stronger than ever. The result? Better speed, more intelligent power use, and a smoother, more capable experience overall. This is the iPad's moment of truth. No longer bound by restrictive software, it can finally live up to the full promise of its hardware. It's no longer just a tablet, it's a studio, a lab, a command center, and a digital playground. Apple's vision for the future of the iPad is bold, and this time, it feels like they're all in.